The world is changing, but not loudly. Not with explosions, not with grand declarations. While others argue, some nations simply build. And nowhere is this more visible than China. This is not just a country transforming itself. This is a civilization reprogramming its entire direction. Not tomorrow, not in theory, but today. The future has arrived, and it's manufactured here. Our journey begins where few used to look. Not in Beijing, not in Shanghai, in Shenzhen, a fishing village just 40 years ago. Today, it's a laboratory for modern civilization. The skyline rises where farms once stood. Glass replaces wood, fiber replaces roads. Factories hum like neural networks of industry. And silence has become China's loudest statement. For decades, the world saw China as cheap. Cheap labor, cheap products, imitations, not innovations. But that image no longer fits the reality. China is not copying, it's redesigning everything. Factories have become machines within machines. Assembly lines run with minimal human touch. Software guides hardware with astonishing speed. And efficiency is no longer just a goal. In these cities, time feels engineered. A society moves in organized rhythm. Technology doesn't follow trends. It sets them. This isn't adaptation, it's acceleration by design. Electric cars glide through intelligent intersections. Cameras speak to streetlights. Algorithms optimize deliveries. And behind the scenes, no chaos, just code. This isn't science fiction. This is daily life. Shenzhen is where the change becomes visible. It's not just a smart city, it's alive. Trains arrive within seconds of scheduled time. Cash has disappeared from pockets and palms. Instead, faces pay for meals and services. Everything is connected. Everything feeds the network. And every corner reveals something new and strange. Not strange for them, only for us. But what makes this transformation truly different? It's not only about the technology itself. It's about how it's being used everywhere. From schools to homes, airports to hospitals. Drone delivery is no longer a pilot program. It's a working system already in motion. A coffee ordered by app arrives by air. Not in the future in this morning. It's not about testing. It's about scaling. Where others hesitate, China simply implements change. Quickly, quietly, and with national coordination behind it. At the center of this shift stands BYD. Build your dreams, a name once mocked. Now it leads the electric car revolution. Not in concept, in output and design. They produce batteries, chips, software, entire vehicles. From source to street, almost everything is local. A single company rivals the entire Western industry. Last year, they outsold Tesla in volume. Their factories run with robotic precision. Their supercars accelerate and even dance. Some are amphibious, able to float in floods. Others charge faster than any global competitor. And it all began in a rented apartment. From batteries to cars to trains, now robots. This isn't growth. It's a complete industrial reinvention. But technology is only part of the equation. China's real success lies deeper than devices. It lies in coordination, direction, long-term thinking. It lies in a cultural approach to progress. While others shift with each election or scandal, China moves with purpose measured in decades. 5-year plans are executed like software patches. Failures are studied. Successes are rapidly reproduced. This isn't chaos behind polished screens. It's structure, system, intention. And for those watching, it feels unfamiliar because it doesn't follow Western storytelling rhythms. So what happens when innovation moves silently? When a nation builds without waiting for applause? When efficiency matters more than ideology or branding? What happens is exactly this. A shift so profound, we barely notice it. Until we realize we've already been overtaken. Not in war, not in policy, in speed. China didn't ask for permission to rise. It simply rose one city at a time. And now, the rest of the world is watching. At the edge of Shenzhen, the city softens. The towers retreat. The noise turns into rhythm. Here, behind security gates and silent corridors, machines build machines with almost no humans. This is not a factory. It's an ecosystem, one that runs on precision and pure logic. Each step optimized, each unit tracked in code, every second accounted for by design. We walk past glass walls and clean floors. Arms move without fatigue. Bolts align by sensors. Chassis rotate, weld, flip, then disappear again. Humans are present, but mostly as monitors. They observe, they adjust, they calibrate parameters. But the machines do the thinking and work. It feels more like a server room than industry. There's no shouting, no heat, no visible urgency. This is where BYD produces its vehicles. One every 60 seconds, an exact rhythm. 1,200 cars every day, without exception. The factory never stops. It only evolves. Each vehicle starts as a battery, the core. BYD's Blade battery lies flat and wide. Safer, thinner, cooler, longer lasting than lithium-ion packs. It slides beneath the car like a spine. From there, machines construct the body around it. Metal bends into shape with exact geometry. No guesswork, no waste, no interruptions allowed. Each station finishes with robotic handshakes forward. Outside, massive lots hold silent rows of cars. Green license plates glint in the factory light. Chargers hum. Robots inspect. Data flows constantly. Every car reports its health before departure. This is not just a company scaling production. This is a company designing a national template. They build not only for roads, but rails. Next to the plant, an elevated train glides. It's called the Sky Shuttle Quiet, Clean, Automatic. BYD designs and exports these transit systems globally. Brazil, Egypt, Southeast Asia cities without legacy rails. Skip straight to electric, driverless public transport lines. BYD builds everything in-house, even the chips. That independence is not just efficient, it's strategic. When others face shortages, they keep expanding output. When others adapt, they set the pace. They were once dismissed as imitators of Tesla, but now Tesla watches them with unease. Inside the visitor center, a digital wall flickers. On screen, a timeline, a list of patents. 4 million cars sold in 1 year. 100,000 engineers. 1 million total employees. The story begins in 1995 with batteries. Tiny office, second-hand tools, little outside funding. 5 years before they touched a car. Laughed at. Ignored. Called too late to matter. But they stayed quiet. They studied, scaled, built. When Western media mocked them, they collected screenshots. Now, those insults are printed on museum walls. A quiet archive of public disbelief and failure. BYD never fought back in words-only output. And today, their lead grows with every minute. The vehicles here are unlike anything elsewhere. Some are luxury, some are experimental. One can rotate in place like a robot. Another can survive floodwaters for 30 minutes. We watch as one slips into a basin. Wheels lifted, hull sealed, doors tight against pressure. The car floats not with gimmick, but engineering. It moves slowly across the surface, fully functional. This feature wasn't made for luxury, but survival. For monsoon floods, emergency evacuations, infrastructure failure. Where others see a gimmick, China sees need. Their cities plan for worst-case scenarios. Their cars are part of the system, not separate. Nothing here is designed in isolation anymore. Workers eat, sleep, and live on campus. Dormitories rise beside the production halls. Housing for thousands, just steps from the floor. This is not unusual, it's efficient organization. For foreign visitors, it seems intense, even alien. But for many workers, it's opportunity and structure. Jobs here are stable, upward mobility real. Skilled workers train into engineers within years. Many are under 30. Smart, focused, unsentimental. For them, technology is not impressive, it's expected. Automation is not a threat, it's a goal. The dream is not escape, but contribution. What makes this ecosystem work is alignment. From leadership to engineer to delivery truck, everyone knows what the next 5 years require. And each step is built with that horizon. These aren't tech bros chasing trends. These are planners building systems meant to last. And they are not building for clicks. They are building for countries, contracts, and permanence. When asked what drives their success, the answer is simple. We do not buy, we build. They build the chip, the screen, the engine. They build the grid, the software, the network. This level of vertical integration is rare elsewhere. But here, it is simply how things work. We leave the factory as the sun lowers. Across the highway, green plates stream through traffic. Some drive themselves, others recharge in motion. None of this feels futuristic anymore. It's routine. In the distance, a robot walks out of a lobby. It enters a delivery van and rides off. Tomorrow, it might return with someone's groceries. This is not the end of the story. In fact, it's only the second layer. There are places even deeper than this, where faces become code, where eyes scan gates, where humanoid robots mimic not just action but emotion. Let's go further. The future has many rooms. Beyond the factories and supercars, something else is happening. Something quieter, stranger, and far more profound. The machines are learning not just to work. They are learning to move, to balance, to see. We arrive in Hangzhou, a city of contrast. Here, ancient lakes border modern research towers. Stone bridges reflect beside robotics, laboratories, and startups. History and the future walk side by side. Inside a modest building, we meet GON. It stands just over 1 meter tall. Metallic limbs, smooth motion, responsive joints, and sensors. This is not a prototype, it's a product. The company is Unitree Robotics, founded in China. They sell robots not only to institutions, but directly to individuals, for under 20. The GON robot watches us as we speak. It tilts its head, then mimics our movement. Its camera eyes blink, focused on every detail. The body shifts, arms stretch, feet adjust balance. It's not graceful, but it's consistent and stable. The robot can walk, stand, sit, even flip. It performs push-ups, spins, dances on command. Soon, it may carry packages or tools. Researchers guide it with a handheld remote. But the goal is clear: full autonomy. A robot that walks through streets like humans. A machine that understands its space and role. Already, these machines are tested in public parks. Children stare. Parents film. Nobody seems surprised. The future is strange but not shocking here. For China, humanoid robots aren't curiosity projects. They are part of a larger ecosystem. One where machines assist, support, and replace humans. Not someday, not hypothetically, but soon. Across town, another lab is working on emotion. Not robotic arms or wheels, but faces. The company is called EX Robot, and they specialize in creating lifelike human expressions using silicone and AI. We walk past rows of robotic heads, each one frozen mid-emotion, joy, suspicion, sorrow. Some eyes blink, some follow movement, some smile. They are still learning, but they are learning fast. These aren't just toys or amusement park mascots. They are teachers, assistants, receptionists, actors, and companions. They're being tested in tourism and elderly care, in quiet clinics and futuristic exhibitions alike. we meet the founder, standing among the machines. He introduces his first successful humanoid model. It can speak, gesture, track your voice direction. Its responses are limited, but rapidly improving. He gestures to a wall filled with faces. We recognize some instantly public figures, global leaders. Yes, he nods. Some faces are requested specifically. Even Elon Musk is printed and displayed here. They call it art, but it's more than that. These faces represent the next interface evolution. Not screens, not keyboards, but expressions and voice. When a robot can recognize a smile and return one with proper timing and tone, then machines no longer feel like tools. In a closed room, we see the newest model. It stands full height, with arms and legs. Its silicone skin is soft, warm to touch. Its hands move with delicate, human-like motion. It speaks slowly, but clearly. It makes eye contact. We speak, it replies with learned phrasing. It's not intelligent, but it knows the rhythm. It knows when to wait, when to nod. They show us a vision of their future. Hospitals, schools, offices, all supported by humanoids. Robots not in factories, but beside people. Helping, guiding, performing low-risk, high-effort roles. Already, they are building robots to build robots. Machines that assemble their own successors in sequence. And once that loop is complete, it scales. Here, the line between tool and companion blurs. Not all are ready for that shift yet. But China is preparing for it now. In the next room, we see a demonstration. A robot reads a person's palm for health. It scans veins, pulse, skin, moisture, and color, then displays a diagnostic result in seconds. Beside it, another robot performs a mock surgery. It cannot operate yet, but it observes. Motion is practiced, grip strength adjusted by sensors. When the time comes, they'll be ready. What we're seeing is not final, but foundational. The groundwork for a society where humans collaborate, with intelligent machines on daily, intimate levels. Outside, the city flows as usual. People move. Drones buzz. No one stares. It's not dystopia. It's not utopia. It just is. The country has skipped gradual integration entirely. No long debates. No endless product delays. They built and kept building, faster each year. In the West, the robot is a metaphor. In China, it's just another household device. Still clumsy, still basic, but improving constantly. The plan is clear. Normalize the future early. Let the next generation grow up with machines. Make the extraordinary feel ordinary from childhood onward. That process has already begun. And far to the north, in another province, a different kind of robot is being made. One not for help or health or hospitality, but something closer to performance, closer to theater. That's where we're going next. Where robots don't just react, they perform. And the stage they step onto is global. North of Hangzhou in Shandong province, the landscape changes. Here, the horizon flattens and the pace slows. But within this stillness, another story is forming. One that feels less industrial, more theatrical, symbolic. We arrive at a quiet compound, partly hidden. There are no signs, no tourists, no noise. Only a metal gate, a scanner, and silence. Beyond it lies EX Robot's full development facility. Inside, the building opens like a stage. White floors reflect light from robotic skin. Glass walls divide workshops and observation zones. Technicians move silently between stations, adjusting artificial eyes. Here they are not building helpers or machines. They are building presence. Identity. Stage-ready humanoids. We are greeted not by a person, but by a robot that looks almost human. Her face moves. Her voice has tone. She blinks. She waits. She responds in rhythm. It's disarming, not because it feels alive, but because it almost does, yet not quite. The effect is powerful. almost cinematic in detail. Lifelike skin, realistic expressions, responsive gestures and posture. They've created an interface that mimics empathy. Enough to make you pause? Adjust your voice. Enough to trick the brain for one moment. Enough to wonder how far this will go. The director explains their next objective. Public performance. Museums, exhibitions, hotels, ceremonial spaces, theme parks. Places where robots must hold attention, not tools. Some are programmed for cultural storytelling. Dressed in traditional clothing, they reenact ancient rituals. Their movements are rehearsed, but eerily graceful. Their speech tells myths from China's long history. It's part tourism, part experiment, part quiet rehearsal. People stop to watch, unsure what to feel. Are they impressed? Amused? Disturbed? All at once. That is the goal. Emotional reaction, not efficiency. The robots are mirrors for human perception. They are made not to work, but to appear. Some hold scrolls. Others pour tea. One sings. The melody is slow, syllables drawn like silk. The effect is strange, beautiful, slightly uncanny. And when they turn toward you and smile, you find yourself smiling back before thinking. In another room, a robot rests in parts. Face removed, circuits exposed, fingers half assembled. It's being upgraded with new movement algorithms. Joints redesigned for greater flexibility and range. They show us footage of older models. Stiff, slow, mechanical. Easily knocked over or confused. But today's models recover from impact. They adjust weight, shift balance, continue motion. It's not perfect, but the curve is rising. Each generation improves exponentially in response time. Not every breakthrough is mechanical, many are behavioral. The software is learning how we move emotionally. Micro-expressions, head tilts, delays in blinking and turning. All this is coded, tested, adjusted with precision. Not for accuracy, but for relatability. The final demonstration is unsettling in its realism. A robot stands at full height, motionless. Its eyes are closed, arms gently folded together. Then, slowly, it begins to wake. One eye opens, then the other. The head lifts slightly, tracking movement around it. A breath-like motion passes through its torso. And then, softly, it speaks in Mandarin. The content isn't important, the delivery is. Every inflection feels chosen, practiced, quietly, powerful. It doesn't feel like a device reading text. It feels like someone performing a quiet monologue. The room stays silent long after it finishes. The boundary between subject and object has blurred, and everyone is trying to process what remains. We ask, what's the long-term vision behind this? The founder points to the assembly line nearby. Dozens of robots in different stages of creation. He answers, to put humanity into the machine. Not intelligence alone, but presence, reaction, social perception. So these robots can move among people unnoticed. Not as tools, but as participants in society. We leave the facility with one final scene. A robot stands by a window, watching rain. It doesn't blink. It doesn't move. But its posture suggests waiting, even thought. It's just posture, just programming. But the illusion is disturbingly complete. Outside, the sky hangs low over the fields. The road stretches quietly between farmlands and wires. There are no signs of robots here. But we know they are coming eventually, everywhere. Back in the city, we pass another shop. Inside, a humanoid greets customers with a bow. No one films. No one reacts strongly. It's already normal, already part of the background. And if something this strange can become ordinary, what else might soon feel the same? The next morning, we board the train south. A different city awaits, glowing with glass. Not known for robots, but for movement itself. The lines we cross now are magnetic. The train to Shanghai lifts without a sound. No wheels, no engine, no mechanical vibration. It floats held aloft by magnetism alone. This is maglev, or magnetic levitation technology. The cabin hums quietly as speed increases. In under 3 minutes, we pass 300 kilometers, h. The motion is smooth, almost like flying low. Passengers read. Children nap. No one looks outside. Shanghai built this link 2 decades ago. And while others debated feasibility, China deployed it. Now they're building even faster prototypes, in tunnels. Transportation here isn't evolving, it's being replaced. Old infrastructure is skipped, entire systems leapfrogged ahead. Subways connect seamlessly to maglev, to hyperlocal drones. A trip that once took hours now takes minutes. And no fossil fuels are burned along the way. Shanghai itself is a monument to rapid change. Skyscrapers sprout like forest after heavy rain. Neon reflects in rivers beside colonial stone. Its past and future compressed into a single street. But this city isn't just vertical and bright. It's coded, tracked, structured on invisible rails. Public transport runs on facial recognition. Payments clear before your hand reaches your pocket. And behind that surface, another engine runs quietly. China's data systems, feeding national AI frameworks. From traffic lights to logistics to emergency response. An urban organism, constantly optimizing itself in real time. While some fear this level of integration, others embrace the stability, speed, and predictability it brings. Shanghai is more than a symbol. It's a message. That modern power isn't shown by aircraft carriers, but by trains, robots, and electrical current. We meet engineers working underground in testing labs. Their project, autonomous metro lines without conductors on board. Sensors detect movement, temperature, air quality, passenger flow. Nothing is guessed. Everything is measured in context. At this level, the city almost thinks. The next test begins a car without driver. No wheel. No pedals. No dashboard display. Just a pod. Mapped to its environment completely. It arrives on time, stops with no error, turns smoothly, then continues without hesitation or oversight. This is not just a taxi, it's a node, part of a much larger nervous system for cities. At dinner, a drone lands outside the window. No one reacts. It's just another delivery. We watch it lift again and vanish silently. It feels ordinary now, and that's the point. Elsewhere, the West is still testing last-mile solutions, still discussing legislation, still rolling out pilot programs. But here, infrastructure is built before conversation starts. Speed replaces consensus. Risk is accepted as cost. And for better or worse, that speed is working. In the morning, we fly to the capital. Not for politics, but for memory. Because to understand China's future, we must see how it remembers its past. Beijing greets us with filtered light and silence. The streets are wide, clean, and tightly organized. History presses in from every direction, deliberately framed. Here, decisions are not made for headlines. They are made for decades, even generations ahead. We visit a planning archive, normally closed to press. Inside are blueprints, renderings, city plans, rural conversions. Everything laid out like a vast logic puzzle. No chaotic sprawl, no accidental expansions. Even growth has its own architectural rhythm. We ask one official what guides this scale. He answers simply, we think beyond election cycles. In this room, we see the real difference. Not technology, not robots, but planning as principle. On the outskirts, a new city is rising. Xiong'an designed as a next-generation urban model. No pollution, no congestion. Smart systems from foundation. Trucks roll in, robots pour concrete, drones scan progress. Everything is coordinated through one central digital platform. There's a school already finished. Solar, automated. Inside, students learn not with books, but with code. They build circuits, fly drones, train neural networks. Education here prepares them to build more cities. A 12-year-old explains facial recognition to our crew. Another shows us how his robot solves puzzles. It's clear the next generation isn't catching up. They're growing up inside the system others still fear. As our journey ends, the sun dips low. The skyline turns gold over a restless horizon. In 6 weeks, we cross cities and generations. From factories of steel to faces of silicone. From floating trains to emotion-reading androids. We didn't just watch a country evolve. We saw it rewrite the meaning of progress. Some will reject this model, and should. It has trade-offs. It demands compromise and control. But what cannot be denied is momentum. It builds quietly, but it builds completely. China is not following. It's designing, not adapting, replacing. And while others debate the future, this one is already being exported worldwide. The real question is no longer, can they do it? The question is, are we too late?